Hey Switch fans, welcome back to Switch Top. January 2026 is absolutely packed with incredible games coming to both the Nintendo Switch and the Switch 2. We've got everything from fairy tale adventures to epic RPGs, so let's jump right into the 13 games you need to know about this month. Escape from Ever After is a narrative-driven, turn-based RPG coming to Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 on January 23, 2026, offering a clever mix of classic RPG structure and satirical storytelling. The game follows Flint Buckler, a traditional storybook hero who sets out to slay a dragon, only to discover that the once magical Ever After has been transformed into a soulless corporate machine run by Ever After Inc. Instead of fairy tale villains, players face office workers, middle managers, and bureaucratic absurdity, turning the adventure into a playful critique of corporate culture. Gameplay revolves around turn-based combat, inspired by timing-focused RPGs, encouraging smart decision-making, well-timed actions, and creative use of abilities rather than raw stats alone. Players build and customize a party of quirky characters, each bringing distinct skills that open up different tactical options in battle. Exploration takes place across multiple storybook-themed worlds, filled with side quests, hidden areas, and environmental interactions that reinforce the game's humor and charm. Outside combat, the game adds a light workplace simulation layer, letting players interact with coworkers, climb the corporate ladder, and personalize office spaces, all while pushing the story forward. Dispatch is a story-focused strategy adventure launching on Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 on January 29, 2026, offering a fresh take on the superhero genre through management and decision-making rather than direct combat. The game follows Robert Robertson III, formerly the armored hero Mecha Man, who loses his powers and is forced into a desk job running the superhero dispatch network in a stylized version of Los Angeles. From this command center, players assign missions to a diverse roster of flawed heroes and reformed villains, carefully matching their abilities, such as strength, mobility, intellect, and endurance, to unfolding emergencies across the city. Gameplay revolves around choosing the right team for each situation, managing schedules, training heroes, and dealing with unpredictable outcomes that can shift relationships and story paths. Dialogue choices, workplace interactions, and moral decisions play a major role, shaping both character arcs and long-term narrative consequences. Light interactive elements like quick-time events and small minigames add variety without breaking the flow of the experience. Rather than traditional action, Dispatch leans into workplace comedy, character-driven drama, and strategic planning, delivering a choice-heavy experience where every decision matters.
All of you in this room have set this program ablaze with your bullshit.
You're right at home behind that desk because you're no hero. You're a nerd playing a video game in a suit your daddy built.
I Hate This Place is an isometric survival horror game coming to Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 on January 29, 2026, delivering a tense experience built around atmosphere, resource management, and constant pressure. The game follows Elena, who becomes trapped in a cursed and hostile world after awakening a dark force while searching for a missing friend, pushing her into a desperate fight for survival. Gameplay blends exploration, crafting, and combat, with players scavenging materials to build weapons, tools, and defensive upgrades, while carefully managing limited resources. A dynamic day-night cycle sits at the core of the design. Daytime offers a brief sense of safety for exploration, preparation, and reinforcing camps, while nighttime radically increases danger as enemies become more aggressive and visibility drops. Stealth plays a major role since many creatures react to sound, encouraging careful movement, trap placement, and smart positioning instead of constant fighting. Combat exists, but it's risky and situational, reinforcing the survival focus rather than power fantasy. Visually, the game adopts a bold, retro comic book art style inspired by its graphic novel roots, using heavy contrast and unsettling imagery to enhance tension.
The ones that dwell here, they noticed her, as they will notice you. They do not see, but they hear the panic in a heartbeat.
Fine, I'll bite. But if I die in there, I am haunting you.
Card-en-Ciel is a roguelite card battling RPG coming to Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 on January 29, 2026, blending deck-building strategy with narrative-driven dungeon exploration. The game places players in the role of Neon, a self-styled gaming chair detective who dives into a malfunctioning full-dive VR world where characters from different games have begun acting independently, threatening the stability of the system. Gameplay is structured around repeated dungeon runs, where players build a deck on the fly from a large pool of cards, each card representing a distinct character with its own abilities, personality, and voiced interactions. While each run resets your active deck, long-term progression allows certain cards and upgrades to carry over, encouraging experimentation with synergies and adaptive strategies. Battles are turn-based and tactical, rewarding careful planning and smart use of effects rather than brute force. A standout mechanic is the Muse card system, which can trigger fully voiced vocal tracks during combat, activating powerful bonuses when specific conditions are met and adding a unique rhythm and flair to encounters.
Use multiple powerful Muse abilities together. Bring out hidden glitch powers and make any combo you wish. Glitch your way to victory. A card battling adventure through the eras of gaming. Card-en-Ciel, Nintendo Switch.
The Rumblefish 2 is a classic 2D fighting game returning on Nintendo Switch 2 on January 22, 2026, bringing its technical arcade-style combat to modern hardware with updated features. Originally known for its depth, the game revolves around a distinctive dual-gauge system that separates offense and defense, forcing players to constantly balance aggressive pressure with smart defensive options. These gauges fuel special attacks, defensive techniques, and powered states that can quickly swing momentum, making matches highly strategic rather than button-focused. Combat uses a 5-button layout and emphasizes timing, spacing, and combo mastery, supported by smooth model animation that gives characters detailed per-limb movement and a fluid visual style. While the story remains minimal, the game is set in a futuristic world rebuilt after disaster, providing background context for the diverse cast of fighters and their conflicts. The Switch 2 edition adds modern conveniences, such as online versus play with rollback netcode, a team battle mode where players select multiple fighters, full training and gallery modes, and display options supporting both classic 4:3 and widescreen 16:9 at a stable 60 frames per second. Temirana, The Lucky Princess and the Tragic Knights, is a narrative-focused otome visual novel launching on Nintendo Switch with full compatibility on Switch 2 on January 13, 2026. The story centers on Cecilia Farias Temirana, a princess shunned since birth due to a mysterious birthmark believed to bring misfortune, forcing her to live in isolation despite her royal status. Her fate begins to change when she becomes involved in a high-profile dueling tournament and encounters a group of knights who emit a strange, otherworldly light, drawing her into political intrigue, romance, and hidden tragedy. Gameplay is built entirely around reading and choice-making rather than action or combat, with players guiding Cecilia through branching story paths by making key decisions that influence relationships, alliances, and outcomes. Each choice can shift the narrative toward one of several romance routes, leading to multiple endings that reflect both emotional bonds and the broader fate of the kingdom. A notable mechanic is Cecilia's intuition system, which subtly warns players of impending danger and critical moments, allowing them to steer events, avoid disastrous outcomes, or unlock special scenes and epilogues tied to specific characters. Cult of the Lamb Woolhaven is a large-scale expansion arriving on Nintendo Switch and fully compatible with Switch 2 on January 22, 2026, expanding the original game's mix of roguelike combat and cult management with a colder, more survival-focused direction. Set after the main story, the expansion draws the lamb to a frozen mountain region at the call of Ingia, the forgotten god of lambs, where the ruined settlement of Woolhaven must be rebuilt, while an ominous corruption known as the Rot spreads across the land. Gameplay adds 2 major new dungeon areas filled with fresh enemies, environmental hazards, and tougher encounters, while harsh weather conditions like blizzards directly affect your cult survival, forcing careful planning back at base. New buildings and systems revolve around keeping followers warm, fed, and loyal in extreme conditions, reinforcing the management side of the experience. One of the biggest additions is animal ranching, allowing players to tame, raise, breed, and even ride creatures that provide resources such as wool, food, and warmth, adding a deeper layer of strategy to progression.
Them to their meat. But your animals are only as good as your rancher. Travel to Woolhaven to learn from the very best. Now it's up to you to clean them, protect them from predators, and feed them the right food. It's hard having such cute animals around without getting attached. Lead your
Dynasty Warriors Origins is a large-scale hack-and-slash action game launching on Nintendo Switch 2 on January 22, 2026, delivering a reimagined take on the long-running Musou formula with a stronger focus on narrative and battlefield strategy. Set during the era of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, the story follows a nameless warrior traveling a fractured China in search of a leader capable of restoring unity, with player choices shaping alliances, rivalries, and the fate of key historical figures. Gameplay retains the series' signature thrill of cutting through massive enemy armies with fluid, combo-driven combat, powerful special attacks, and weapon variety, while adding deeper tactical layers such as issuing commands to allied units, coordinating with a chosen general partner, and using positioning to influence large-scale encounters. Battles are designed to feel more dynamic and reactive, rewarding awareness of objectives and troop movements rather than pure offense alone. The Switch 2 version includes the Visions of Four Heroes expansion at launch, introducing additional story paths, new companions, and alternate what-if scenarios that further expand the narrative scope.
Fellow sons of the Yellow Earth, fly by my side!
Animal Crossing New Horizons, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, is an enhanced version of Nintendo's life simulation hit, launching exclusively on Nintendo Switch 2 on January 15, 2026, while remaining compatible with the original Switch ecosystem through shared updates. The core experience stays true to the original concept, placing players on a deserted island getaway where daily life unfolds through gathering resources, crafting tools and furniture, fishing, bug catching, gardening, and slowly transforming the island into a lively community shared with animal villagers. What sets the Switch 2 edition apart is a range of technical and quality of life improvements, including higher resolution visuals, smoother performance, and noticeably faster load times that make island hopping and decorating more fluid. New control options take advantage of Joy-Con 2 mouse functionality, allowing more precise placement of furniture and terrain elements, while microphone support introduces a megaphone feature to call villagers directly. Online play is expanded to support up to 12 players at once, strengthening the social side of the game alongside new camera play and game chat features for shared moments. Alongside this release, a free version 3.0 update rolls out across Switch platforms, adding new locations like a resort hotel, slumber islands focused on creative design, expanded storage, bulk crafting, and new crossover content. Mio, Memories in Orbit is an atmospheric Metroidvania, launching on Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 on January 20th, 2026, delivering a focused blend of exploration, precision platforming, and narrative mystery. Players control Mio, a small android who awakens aboard a massive Ark-like space vessel that has fallen into decay, now overtaken by vegetation and failing machinery after its AI caretakers, known as the Pearls, mysteriously stopped functioning. The story unfolds through environmental clues and recovered memories, as Mio explores interconnected regions of the ship, gradually uncovering what led to its collapse and why destruction is imminent. Gameplay emphasizes fluid movement and gradual ability progression, with tools like grappling hooks, wall clinging, gliding, and traversal upgrades opening new routes and encouraging classic backtracking. Combat is fast and responsive, built around projectile-based attacks, tactical positioning, and ability modifiers that let players adapt their approach to different enemy types. The journey is punctuated by dozens of enemy encounters and a wide range of boss fights that test both mechanical skill and mastery of movement. Exploration is tightly woven into progression, rewarding curiosity with upgrades, lore fragments, and hidden paths.
And then there's you, again. The little sapling who wished to save the sun.
2 Edition is an expanded version of the Underground Survival Sandbox, arriving on Nintendo Switch 2 on January 28, 2026, launching alongside the large Void and Voltage content update. The game centers on exploration and survival in a procedurally generated subterranean world that begins around a mysterious core and expands outward into distinct biomes filled with resources, secrets, and dangerous creatures. Gameplay blends mining, crafting, base building, farming, fishing, and real-time combat, encouraging players to dig deeper, gather materials, and gradually unlock stronger tools, weapons, and workstations. Progression is driven by skill systems tied to actions like combat, mining, gardening, and cooking, allowing players to naturally shape their playstyle over time. Combat mixes melee, ranged, and magic options, with boss encounters acting as major milestones that open new areas and mechanics. The Switch 2 Edition emphasizes cooperative play, supporting up to 8 players online, making teamwork central to exploration, base defense, and large construction projects. The Void and Voltage update adds a new biome called Breaker's Reach, new enemy types, a massive boss encounter, and advanced automation tools that let players streamline farming, crafting, and resource management. The Legend of Heroes Trails Beyond the Horizon is a large-scale, story-driven JRPG arriving on Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 on January 15, 2026, continuing the long-running Trails saga with a strong focus on interconnected storytelling and strategic combat. Set after the events of Trails Through Daybreak 2, the narrative unfolds across the continent of Zemuria as global tensions rise and humanity prepares for its first steps into space, drawing powerful organizations and familiar heroes into a far-reaching conspiracy. The story follows multiple protagonists, including Van Arkride, Reen Schwarzer, and Kevin Graham, whose perspectives intertwine as secrets surrounding the Horizon and Zemuria's future come to light. Gameplay expands the series' hybrid combat system, seamlessly blending real-time field battles with classic turn-based command battles, allowing players to switch styles depending on the situation. New and refined mechanics such as awakening states, shard commands, and the ZOC system add deeper tactical layers, encouraging careful positioning, timing, and party synergy. Outside combat, players explore detailed regions filled with side quests, character events, and optional activities like cooking and bonding moments that further develop relationships and lore. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is the enhanced edition of Square Enix's modern reimagining of a classic JRPG, launching on Nintendo Switch 2 on January 22, 2026. The game retells the opening chapter of Final Fantasy VII, set in the industrial city of Midgar, where mercenary Cloud Strife becomes entangled with the eco-resistance group Avalanche as they fight against the Shinra Corporation's exploitation of the planet's life energy. What begins as a series of sabotage missions gradually evolves into a much larger conflict involving fate, identity, and the future of the world. Gameplay blends real-time action with strategic command-based systems, allowing players to move freely, attack, dodge, and guard in combat, while slowing time to issue abilities, spells, and item commands through the active time battle gauge. This hybrid system rewards both reflexes and tactical planning, especially during boss encounters that emphasize enemy patterns and party coordination. Intergrade also includes Episode Intermission, an additional story campaign focused on Yuffie Kisaragi, running parallel to Cloud's journey and introducing new combat mechanics and narrative perspectives. With upgraded visuals, refined performance, and its expanded storyline bundled in, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade on Switch 2 aims to deliver a cinematic, character-driven RPG experience that balances fast-paced combat with deep storytelling for both longtime fans and newcomers.
Set in stone.
The world won't end today, but you will.
My name is Yuffie, Materia Hunter and Elite Special Forces operative for the new Wutai government.
And there you have it. 13 incredible games launching in January 2026 across Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. From fantasy adventures to tactical combat and beloved RPG franchises, this month is absolutely stacked with must-play titles. Which games are you most excited for? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss our latest Nintendo content. Thanks for watching.